Hey, what's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. Today, I'm your host just for today. Uh, we got my man P in the building.
What up?
And surprisingly, we have my man Mo taking
Moving.
the back seat to hosting today, but he'll be back, people. Don't worry. Mo, you in there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm here.
I tell you, this
Sorry
feels
about that.
so. It's all right. It feels so weird, and it's not easy doing what you do, but we're very thankful for it.
Yes.
Um, uh, let's kick off, I guess. Did we speak since Boston, the last show? Did we do Boston that they had covered already, that they won their series?
No,
Yeah.
no. I think they were up what
Nah.
3-0 or 3-0 when we last recorded. So they move on to the finals.
Okay, I guess that's a quick run through, but let's talk about Boston, Indiana.
I think Indiana was just too immature at
Mm,
the end of the day. And they suffered from some bad coaching moves
hmm
and injuries. And I think with all three of those, it was just too much to overcome against the uber talented team in Boston Celtics that were clear on, how they wanted to win and what the plan of action was, and came with that sense of urgency. And you had a coach that was preparing them with that sense of urgency. Although Rick Carlisle is a championship winning coach, this series he didn't show us that. He didn't show us that medal, or at least in my eyes, because there were a couple of games that you say probably got away from them because of coaching. Um,
mm.
so,
I can think of
so
two in particular, definitely.
yeah. So, and this is not the only series where you can say that. So
Mm.
I think that unfortunately, Indiana Pacers, even though young talented group and whatnot, they suffered from, like I said, being young. None of their players have really any type of deep playoff experience. Um, and then coaching mistakes, and that's all you can label them as.
Mm.
Because
Pete, right?
Yeah.
Pete,
No,
what you?
yeah, Indiana overachieved for
Mm.
me. I think the Siakam pickup is what got them here. Because he, like Mo was alluding to, he's the only one that does have any type of playoff experience or success,
hmm
rather.
Mhm.
And as far as Boston goes, once Giannis went down, this is where I expect him to be. I think most basketball fans thought it was going to come down to Boston, Milwaukee. Once Milwaukee was out the picture, this is expected. And I don't know if you could get an easier road. It's not their fault, but Miami, Jimmy Butler goes down. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell goes down. Then Indiana, Halliburton goes down. So this is where they should be as the team with the best record in the league.
Yeah, that's
And
but and that's conditioning too, though. You know what I mean? So Boston is built on it. So I give their coaching staff kudos for having them not, you know, it's a battle of attrition with the playoffs. More so talent is availability. So they lost Porzingis, and after that, they've been here totally, fully. You know what I mean? Them, I guess the remaining teams, with Dallas and well, except for losing Lively, but that's fairly recent.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's it, right? Dallas, Minnesota, and Denver pretty much were healthy.
Yeah.
mhm.
Only team in the West you would say attrition set in is the Clippers with Kawhi and the Pelicans with
Right.
Zion. Other than that,
Right.
you know,
So so you're comfortable with Boston being, we have no choice, but you're pretty much comfortable with Boston being in this position, get up to win a championship. You they need Porzingis?
to win,
I
yeah,
think they do.
to
I think
win.
they do.
Yeah.
And I'm not totally comfortable with them being in this position in the sense that their path to this spot didn't alleviate my concerns about their inconsistency. And not so much the Indiana series, but the Cleveland series really troubled me. Like that closeout game, you're playing a Cleveland team without Donovan Mitchell, without Jared Allen, without Karis LeVert, and it's a close game. And I'm like, if you, especially with the history that this particular team has, or the core of this team has, going through what you guys have gone through, I would think you learned by now that, hey, we facing a weakened opponent. We're not nice. We step on their throats and keep on pressing until they get up out of here. And I didn't see that. And so it's like, that's what it has me waffling about, hey, their chances to win the championship.
With that being said, though, they 4-1 the Heat, though, right? 4-2 Cleveland and sweep Indiana.
Yeah.
So regardless of how we look at it, it has been, injuries or not, it has been pretty much an easy playoff run, like people were saying, though. So I know you don't, I guess the way they got in there, Mo, it probably hasn't been decisive enough, but they have won in considerable dominant fashion if you look at the overall picture. You know what I mean? What is that, 12-3?
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Let's go out west.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to the West. My God, Anthony, I was raving throughout these playoffs about the picks. Of course, getting down to the nitty gritty of the Final Four, I picked Indiana to beat Boston, so I'm done with those, and I picked Minnesota to beat Dallas, which has a pulse, I should just say.
Right.
My pick, but it doesn't look good. What has Dallas done to, offset this, juggernaut of a defense that Minnesota has, been known for throughout these playoffs?
I think Dallas has been weak on their double. I mean, Minnesota has been weak on their double teams until last night. You can't double team players like Kyrie and Luka who can keep their dribble in a double team that weakly. You have to be aggressive. You have to be double teaming them with the purpose of they have to pass it. And I'm not giving up, or the pressure doesn't release itself until they pass the ball. And you weren't getting that the first 3 games of this series. You would get, especially after game 1, you notice Luka and Kyrie were searching for that. They were searching for the double team because the double team would come weak, and then they count in their head 1, 2, 3, and they go out. And Kyrie and Luka knew, oh, this ain't gonna be here for a while. Let me just keep my dribble into the middle, and maybe I'll do a floater or lively. Gafford, hey, here you go. Easy points. And last night, that stopped. They changed it up on Kyrie as far as putting McDaniels on him, somebody with more length. They put Anthony Edwards on Luka for a while, and that seemed to work a little bit. And they were more aggressive with their double teams. But I think the most important thing that happened last night was that Pat showed up and decided that, hey, I don't have to shoot 3-pointers all the time. You know what? There is 2 points count just as much. And 2 points is better than no points. And he actually attacked the rim. And then in the third quarter, lo and behold, you got a whole bunch of space and room to shoot your 3-pointers and take your time. And you make 4 of them. I think the moral of the story is, hey, Cat, stop playing around trying to be a guard and be a damn center. Because
Yeah,
there's nobody
but he was the center last night that was hitting a lot of threes.
In the second half, Hill. The first half, he didn't hit any of them.
Yeah,
I just need him to play better.
And he gave you like damn near 20 points in the first half.
yeah.
That's opened it up for him in the third quarter, where hey, now you got guys that are more than 2 steps away from you.
Yeah,
And you've loosened up and were able to hit that 3. And I still say he shot too many of them. And he still should be attacking the rim.
Yeah, I think the difference is Cat had a good game, Kyrie had a subpar game. I think it's pretty much that. That's the difference. Because up until last night, Minnesota didn't get anything from Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
And Kyrie had a bad game. I completely agree. You know, we've gone over this time and time again with, you know, guys like Embiid or whatever. Go down low, man. You're tall. But so to me, that was the difference. Cat had a good game. Kyrie had a subpar game.
I think for me, and the reason why, and thank God Cat did show up so we can get a game. But to me, what's going to make this series so hard, and it has been, is that Minnesota has been able to play man-on-ball defense throughout the playoffs and throughout the year. You're able to have Jaden McDaniels stick someone one-on-one and take them out the game. You're able to have Anthony Edwards, Nikhil Alexander stick someone off the game. They can't do that on any of these 2 players. So they don't have the numbers to do it. They're always going to call for double team. Anthony Edwards can't stick Luka Doncic. That's just a height problem. And Jaden McDaniels still has problems with Kyrie, and Anthony has problems with Kyrie. It's too much doubling and too much spacing. So with that, you're going to have P.J. Washington, you're going to have Green. If they're able to hit shots, this is over. You just had people not come up with hit shots last night. Even Luka and Kyrie had a bad game last night, and it still went down to the wire. I mean, so I don't know the defensive scheme that they can do on 2 juggernaut players. I don't think it just can't be done. I think they clicked at the worst time for the league. They found out how to do it. And if you can't stick them one-on-one, it's just a numbers game. You're going to be doubling. That's 4 or 3, and 2 are going to be open and just at your will that they miss. So I'm hoping that your defensive thought pattern on them is right, that they actually, can get better, but I just don't know if they're able to stop them enough. I know they can't stop them, just enough to be in these games.
I think, honestly, the big thing has been, whatchamacallit, Cat, and how he changed his approach to the game. Like I said, the first half, he didn't throw up a 3-pointer. Not one. Just attacked the rim and drove to the basket.
Yeah, but the problem with Cat is driving to the basket, though, is he gets stupid fouls, too.
Honestly,
that's my problem with Cat.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But I think, honestly, Minnesota will probably be more successful with that Cat.
No, they won't, because he'll be on the bench. He'll be on the bench. He gets stupid fouls.
And he accumulated stupid fouls in this game too. I think he fouled out.
Yeah, I think I agree. He definitely. I mean, we all agree he makes stupid fouls. But I think the advantage or the difference is these were him being aggressive offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want him to run over people and get charges? Of course not. But that does mean he's not bailing out the defense shooting threes. You know what I mean? So, I'd rather him be aggressive and foul out and then just go 0 for 9 for 3 and, you know, play the whole game. So
It's still foul.
yeah.
I think like that's the little bit of help that Ant needs. And then you say, hey, Ant, give me a good game. And whatchamacallit, take us home in the fourth quarter, be more aggressive in the fourth quarter.
No, Ant definitely
And
balled out in the that last game. You know, it's just that Cat was playing so bad. You know what I mean? Ant kind of you didn't really notice, but Ant did not play good this whole series until the,
yeah.
you know what I mean? He just looked sluggish, tired. I don't know if
Bad decision making with passing in midair.
yeah, I don't know if the defensive assignment with Kyrie or something's just he just looked tired. He just looked tired, and he was energized last night. So, you know,
Yeah, and that's why I say he needs help. Like Cat has to show up. Like I think Anthony Edwards, from what I'm seeing and what I'm learning of him, is the type of player that, hey, usually to your point, P, like last series, hey, he brought the energy against Phoenix and Denver and whatnot. But it felt like he was lagging. That's where your Robin can come in and say, all right, yeah, it's supposed to be this hard. Get up, let's go, let's get out there. That's what Kyrie's been for Luka. Like, yeah, dude, I know you left everything on the court. It's supposed to be like this. Keep it up. Let's go. And when you need a little breather, guess what? Give it to me. I'll take it. That's what Ant's supposed to be able to do with Cat. Like, and that wasn't a thing until last night. You know, when Cat showed up. And you being more aggressive in first half. Hey, and he starting to open up for those threes, hitting those threes in the third quarter. All right, now fourth quarter, I'm going to take over. I got the energy now. Oh, I see y'all balling. Oh, okay. That's what your Robin is for.
Yeah, but I think to be fair to Cat, all of a sudden Cat has become a Robin, and when before people never thought he was before. I mean, he can't turn into something that people didn't think he was that in the beginning.
Oh, I had a problem with. I had me when Cat first came out. I was uber fan. I thought he was Batman, and as his career progressed, I realized he's not that. And that's where my disappointment with Cat is. It's like, hey, you have the talent to be Batman and whatnot, but you don't play like that. You play like you need Batman to come into the building, you know. But when you talk to the press and talk to the fans, you acting like you Batman, but you're not. And I think, and that's where we talked about this before. Like, hey, I feel like Ant needs to take more the leadership role. It's too 50-50 for me with him and Cat because they are not the same.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty subjective because, I mean, you would probably think that Kyrie is Luka's Robin.
Yeah.
And see, that's where I have an issue.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's subjective. I don't. Besides him being there longer, if that's the only argument, because Luka's never closed out a championship game.
Okay, and my thing is like this. I look to the court and also listen to the players. Like Kyrie is real clear that hey, his role is secondary to Luka. He's here to help him get to where he wants to be.
But I don't see him. But I don't see him as a Robin.
Like that's not.
I don't take that as a Robin. But it's subjective. I don't take that as a Robin because that's not the case.
He's seeing himself as that.
Well, that's him. Again, we'll get to this again. Like, I do not see him as a Robin. Whatever coach talk or coach speak that he gives to this, you're going to get these sound bites through the whole thing. There's no way that I can feel that this guy is a Batman had he not taken someone to a championship. I can't feel that way. I feel like they're both great players, and they're finding a way to work together. Now, it's Luka's team because he's been there longer, but I don't see him as the 1A. I really don't. I see him as equal. Pete, how do you feel towards?
Yeah, my affinity for Kyrie in his game and everything, but I think he is taking somewhat of a backseat to Luka during the first 3 quarters and like playing the closer role in the fourth. Like Luka's more of a playmaker during the entire game. You know what I mean? So it depends what's your definition of the guy. You know what I mean? It's almost like a Shaq Kobe thing where, unbeknownst to me, people, I'm like, oh yeah, Shaq was the guy for those 3 championships. And some people tell you, oh nah, because when it was the fourth quarter, we know where the ball's going. So they looked at Kobe as the guy for those first 3 championships.
But it wasn't even where the ball was going. He was unplayable in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, it's subjective. You know what I'm saying? And that is the reason, and that is my forever litmus. It's always going to be Kobe Shaq. And forever wants to say Shaq does the heavy lifting for 3 quarters, and Kobe is the closer in the fourth quarter. That's the agreement. But Kobe doesn't score 32 points, which he averaged in the fourth quarter. And it's lazy. The game was won throughout the whole entire game.
Now, to be honest, I always felt like it was well known. Shaq was the guy. You know what I mean? But Kobe fans, I want to say Kobe fans, basketball fans will say, nah. You know what I mean? Like, so they're looking, how you're looking at Kyrie, they're looking at Kobe like,
but
he's not robbing. He's closing the games,
I think the Kobe argument is stands on a lot more solid foundation in a sense, because you can bring up the numbers with Kobe with certain championship runs where, hey, he was averaging more points than Shaq. Because like that 32 point that he's talking about, Shaq was averaging 28, 29.
Nah, Shaq averaged 35, Mo.
Yeah,
which averaged 35. Yeah, 35.
At the end of the day, Shaq has 3 Finals MVPs. So maybe during the playoffs, it might have been, even a 50-50, but in the finals, he was putting on monster numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was 35, 32. Look at that. When they went, I think it was 16-1.
Yeah, like maybe the Western Conference Finals, Kobe might have had a better series, I recall, against maybe the Spurs or something like that. But in the finals, you'll find anyone that has better numbers than Shaq in those 3 finals, though.
And you're hard pressed for anyone to think that Kobe is not the ultimate Robin.
Yeah.
That's just par for the course. You know what I'm saying? Like you can fit Kobe in with Scottie Pippen. That's how they feel about it. Like you can fit him with Scottie Pippen or even Klay Thompson. That's how you got him in the mold. Like Klay Thompson would, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So yeah, I definitely think he's. I don't know. I don't know if there's not a Robin meter, but yeah, Kobe will definitely be on the top of that Robin meter. Like I think he's as much, I'm Scottie Pippen fan and a Klay Thompson fan, but his impact was just more than theirs was to me. But whereas you would never argue, oh, Klay was Batman or Scottie was Batman. That's never come up. But for Kobe, at least you have a legitimate argument that he was Batman. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. It really is. And that's just me being a Kyrie sycophant. Averaging 11 points in the fourth quarter is when you make your money.
And the run's not over. Like,
No, it's not.
We may have a whole series to go. So
hopefully. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How does Minnesota work their way back into this playoffs though?
I just think that was better. at this point.
So you don't think they can?
No, I think it's over. But obviously, Cat has to play like he did in Game 4. He has to be aggressive. He has to score, get some buckets in the paint, take less threes, and just be smarter on defense and offense with regarding the fouls or whatever. But yeah, at this point, I just think Dallas is a better team.
Pay a little bills for a second. Of course, everybody check us out on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and also we need a fifth at gmail.com. Once again, that's we need a fifth at gmail.com. Mo, is there any way Minnesota could get back?
What he said, like, hey,
Smart man
has to act like he's a center and play closer to the rim. And at this point, even though he had a good game with shooting threes, I would encourage him to stop shooting them.
And get the ball down low with the Twin Towers, and it's not bottled up with the two big men down low.
Attack the rim. However you get there, attack the rim. That would be the mission.
It's so weird, too, as a defensive guy, though, is their lack of controlling secondary opportunities, which I think you would be hateful of, Mo, as a defensive guy. They don't secure secondary boards, Rudy Gobert. They don't have a presence pretty much on defense. And that goes into Rudy Gobert being an anchor with the team. He's been a liability. Does that play any part into them getting back into this series?
Unless you change up your defensive philosophy, I don't see it. I don't see that resolving itself with the way they playing defense on Dallas right now. Because you have to assume that, all right, our defense is going to be good enough to disrupt Kyrie and Luka from getting into the middle and causing havoc. And I don't think they've shown that,
the crazy thing is, I feel like Rudy's not having a bad series. He's giving me 15 and 10, a block or two. That's what he does.
With that being said, would you sit him, P?
Would I sit him? If Nas Reed, I said that it was that Game 3. If Nas Reed is rolling, I'm going with him and Cat.
Mm-hmm. And I would, Phil, I would sit Gobert and tell Cat, you can't shoot threes. As soon as you shoot one, we're putting Rudy back in.
Oh God! At this point, I don't even want to see Rudy Gobert in this series.
That's where I think you have to put him. Like, hey, you have to force Cat to be the player he needs to be right now.
So you got the onus mainly on Cat to win them coming back
early. They don't come back unless he starts having games like last night.
And I respect this show because that really means that we have no sense of, comprehension about that decoy. Because you're talking about it's not him, and I'm thinking about sitting him. So therefore, we're both in contention that he doesn't matter.
I always felt I know where Rudy Gobert is. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever awards and accolades people give him, I know where Rudy Gobert is. He gives me 15 points, 10 rebounds, a couple of blocks. That's what he is.
And as far as I'm concerned, Hill, he's not defensive player of the year for this year, That's one too.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think he's ever been. If this is what I get to see him, heads up.
As far as I'm concerned, he stole that shit from that kid in San Antonio.
So why play him? So why do they play him? So why play him then?
I think he's a good player. I really do. I think he's a good player. But I think I just feel like I know who Rudy Gobert is as a player. Like, you know what I mean? I don't overrate him. I don't underrate him. I know what he is. So when he scores 15 and 10 and they lose, and people say, "Oh, Rudy Gobert," that's what I expected. Like, we expected 20 and 15 from Rudy Gobert. I don't know.
No, I'm what I'm expecting is about 8 and 20. Just someone who's a straight Windex guy. They are cleaning up on Dallas over there. He can't rebound over Galfon. He can't rebound over Lively, and he's not rebounding over PJ Washington. Like, what's going on?
I mean, like I said,
I'll take 4 and 16. I'll take 4 and 19. I'll take 4 and 22. Just be a presence on the glass.
That's not what he does.
Well, that's terrible.
That's just not what he does.
That is terrible. Well, to me, that's unplayable then.
Okay.
That's unplayable.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
So you guys got Dallas coming out of the West.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You guys want to? It's too early to make a prediction. If you feel like that, or would you need to let the series play itself?
Oh man, listen, man, I got Dallas. I got Dallas winning it all, man.
Let's put Mo, you don't want to put the chicken before the egg, right? I mean, Anthony
I give me some more time so I can waffle.
Yeah, I mean, even when Porzingis come back, and of course they're a much better team with Porzingis. Who's to say he's going to, be ready or in shape? So, yeah, I got Dallas to win it all.
Hypothetical: Minnesota blows them out, or even just wins Game 2. Puts a little fear in Dallas. Squeaks out Game 6. For all the marbles in Minnesota.
I had Dallas in 7.
Okay.
So it would just go with my prediction.
They go win by win by win, and they pull off an historic comeback. I know I'm reaching.
Yes.
Then what is Anthony Edwards' lure then?
If they win the whole thing?
And if they just get to the finals now, down 0-3. Wow. They just got 3-1 now.
You gotta finish your breakfast. That'll be cool.
It'll be early. You gotta eat the food.
Nah, it'll be cool.
Western Conference Finals.
Because my thing is, Hill, what do you think of Jimmy Butler?
He was down 0-3?
I'm just saying, whatchamacallit, we always talk a little bit about how Miami's dearth of talent. And oftentimes you include Jimmy Butler in that. He's made it to the finals two or three times.
Oh no, I don't. I'm trying to get the comparison here because I think Minnesota is a very talented team, and I think Miami has no talent, including Jimmy Butler. I'm just trying to find out the equation in here which you're trying to give me to. I'm just because the only thing I can equate this to is Golden State and LeBron. So this comeback, I'm saying that he did it in the highest. Well, they did it in the highest.
Yeah, you gotta eat your food. You gotta eat your food for it to mean something. And just like, hey, Golden State had the best record. It was up 3-1.
Don't get me wrong.
You know what I mean? And whatnot. It don't mean anything.
No, it would be historical. But they would be for one. It would be historical.
Right.
Anytime somebody's down 3-0, they would bring up the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Right.
But as far as Anthony Edwards on a personal level, it respect due and everything. But then if he loses in the finals, he made it to the finals and lost.
Yeah. Because, and like I said, I use that Golden State team. It won how many games? Like 72? 73 games?
73, yeah.
Yeah. We don't even think about that now. Because they didn't finish their food.
But I will say, whoever comes out, whether it be Minnesota or Dallas, one of the toughest roads to a championship ever. Because this was conference playoffs. Just look at the people they had to go through to get there. Either one of them. Doesn't matter which one, Minnesota or Dallas. Just look from the first round, and then you gotta have to cap it off with beating the team with the best record in the league. It's probably one of the most difficult runs we ever saw in the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we have some time to pick our finals representation, due to the fact that Minnesota has not, been eliminated yet. So we have some time. Well, what we can do is go on over to the women's side of things, the WNBA.
Oh, okay. Wow.
WNBA. And with that being said, Miss Caitlin Clark is now what, 2-5 or 2-6?
I think she's 1-5, I think. 1-5. Just won one game.
That was her first win?
No.
No, I thought she has 2 wins.
No, she didn't win last night.
Oh, so she dropped the 30 and lost.
Wait, it was a 30
dropped the 30 and lost.
Yeah, we just assumed she won, Hill. We just I know I did. I assumed that she won, but okay.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man, shows us casuals.
Yeah, whatchamacallit? They were playing against the Sparks, who they got their first one against. And the Sparks, they ran it back, and the Sparks got their second win of the season. So,
interesting. Shout out to Cam Brink then. All right, but that's what I wanted. But that's what I didn't mind the record. I wanted 30s, so I can't complain. But did she shoot well?
Yeah, I think she was pretty efficient. I think she put up like 25 to 26 shots, made about 11 to 12 or something like that. If I'm not
quite
mistaken.
efficient.
Okay.
Not quite 50%.
Like, you acting for pro numbers, man. Whatchamacallit. But who I really want to talk about, I think people are sleeping on, that Chicago team, man. I think they're going to be scary, man. Especially once they get healthy and get Cardozo back. Angel Reese, I'm becoming a real fan right now. I'm liking what she's doing out there.
I don't know what game I saw where she got indoctrinated into the WNBA, where she had got pulled down in the paint.
Yeah, versus Connecticut.
That was Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. And she stood back up and said, "Good work. That's what I want. Let's go. Let's get it."
Was a little teary-eyed in the in a huddle. You know what I mean? Like the college bully gets to see what it is like to be the pro. So, they're gonna have that chip on their shoulder coming in. And they just have to brush some of that rust off.
You're gonna have to fight through it. Like, hey, Angel Reese, you're playing in a league where a lot of the women, especially playing your position, had to be the same type of player you are.
I've seen them both take some tough fouls. I've seen Angel and Caitlin take some real tough fouls.
Definitely, and honestly, they got the tough fouls probably from the same team, because the team that you're talking about did that to Angel Reese was the Connecticut Sun that I was telling y'all about. As far as, hey, being a #1 defensive team, and that was Caitlin's first 2 games. So, and that's how they get down. And they're like the female version of the old school Detroit Pistons as far as their defensive intensity and their attention to defense and whatnot.
That's wrestling though. I don't know if that's defensive intensity. I think that's more so like wrestling.
Yeah. You get that too. I think the female game, honestly, especially at the professional level, they allow more physicality in the women's game. There's certain things that the women get away with that nobody in the NBA would allow. So as far as their physicality on defense and stuff and what they're allowed to get away with, I think WNBA is definitely a lot more tougher in that regard. Yeah, but I think Chicago Sky is the team to watch out for. Aces are doing their thing. On the low, Seattle and Phoenix look like they can do something too. So it's looking good in the WNBA right now, and it's more than just Caitlin Clark. And I think I'm hoping that the NBA leans into that. You know that hey, you got a really special draft class, and learn how to deal with these type of classes because it's only going to get better the next 2 or 3 years between Paige and Juju. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, you need to learn how to be able to deal with this type of attention and stardom coming into your league right now. Because, like I said, it's only going to get worse with Paige coming and then Juju, especially if Juju decides to stay all 4 years. I think she will eclipse Caitlin Clark's record if she decides to stay all the years of her eligibility in college. And you got that girl coming out, and with her popularity already in LA and Cali already, oh man, come on. If y'all can't deal with this now, y'all gonna be in trouble by the time she get there. You know, and whatchamacallit, and to your point, Hill, where we talked about before, Juju is one of those where I think she can have a bigger impact as far as hey numbers wise than Caitlin as a rookie. If she stays on the trajectory that she's on, yeah, you're gonna see the second coming of Maya Moore with her. You going like it's gonna be a problem.
Big shoes to fill there, but I like it because I love Juju.
Yeah, I think she's already there. Like I think she already has like 1,000 points already.
Points, Maya Moore. Who accomplishments wise, not too many people is going to be there with Maya.
Yeah. But I think that's part of the journey that Juju decided to take and go into USC, go into a program that outside of Cheryl Miller hasn't really made any noise on the women's championship level. And saying, hey, I'm going to bring them back into contention, bring them back into the glory days of a Cheryl Miller. I think that was part of her, her journey, the challenge that she gave herself. Because she could have easily gone to, I'm sure Gino would have been happy to pick her up, or Dawn would have been happy to pick her up, and she could be a champion right now if she was on one of those teams. But like I said, she's going to be a problem.
Yeah, just to add on to what you're saying, Kiki Arifan, who played for Stanford, I think she transferred.
Yes, definitely.
So
absolutely.
We're just a little USC. Oh no,
they're coming.
I would say they would, stay in South Carolina. I don't know who you would say is going to be better than USC next year. Because I had her right with Cameron Brink from the games that I saw. I had her right.
Well,
and whatever Gino re-ups with. And whatever Gino
I was just about to say, Hill, you still got Paige out in stores.
Yeah, whatever Gino re-ups with.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be in a race. He's going to go on Paige, but yeah.
All right, for those listen, of course we always cover the WNBA, but for those who don't, those that know. Gentlemen, what's on tap?
For me, man, I've been digging into some baseball. Unbeknownst to me, like Bob Costas and Mad Dog, they're on Major League Baseball Network.
Baseball. Wow. I listen, I'm a Mad Dog guy anyway, though. So that's baseball.
He's
Well, on that note, baseball just released today that they're going to be getting Josh Gibson and players like that, Satchel Paige. They're going to be counting their numbers, and as far as Major League Baseball statistics. So right now, yesterday, whatchamacallit, the guy from Boston, Ted. Oh, and Boston people are kill me for this. And guess what, Boston? I don't care because I don't like Boston Red Sox anyway. Ted, oh my goodness, famous Boston Red Sox guy. Ted, it starts with Ted.
Ted Williams?
Ted
Yeah.
Williams?
Whatchamacallit?
They're gonna kill you.
And the other one is Bob Gibson, right? Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit?
Teddy Ball game.
Yesterday he was the leader in batting percentage and stuff like that. Today, when they announced that they're using Negro League stats and stuff like that, allowing those players to get some recognition, he's no longer the leader in batting percentage. It's Josh Gibson now. Josh Gibson owns the record for on batting percentage.
Josh Gibson, you sure?
Yeah, whatchamacallit? He's the Negro League player that was the catcher. And he batted like Babe Ruth.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Whatchamacallit? And Satchel Paige's records are being counted. So
Nice.
the Negro League records and stats are being counted and being
averaged in?
Yeah.
Apologies to Josh Gibson. I was thinking Bob Gibson, the great pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. Okay. Josh Gibson. Salute.
Definitely.
Yeah. So whatchamacallit? So that's a good thing that MLB finally got right.
But what I was saying though, so they had like a top 5 on Major League Baseball Network of the top 5 players. So I was, I'm in the stats. So just give my quick 5 best plays in Major League Baseball. Number 5, Juan Soto, batting .310, 14 homers. Number 4, Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves, batting .311 with 15 homers.
Hey, you might want to slow down on him. He just got hurt. Achilles, he's out for the year.
That's Acuna. That's Acuna Jr.
Who's
not having a good. He was not having a good season anyway. But no, but Marcell Ozuna, he's having a good season. Juan Soto at 5th, of course. Luis Arias, who's batting .335, only one home run, but he's giving me like the Tony Gwynn vibes. Like he's just like an excellent hitter. Mookie Betts batting .335 for 8 homers. That's when you know Major League Baseball has a problem. He should be a household name. He should be on every commercial. The guy is an MVP, has 2 world championships, one with the Red Sox, one with the Dodgers. If you walk down the street, nobody would know who he was. But I think
I would argue he's the best player in baseball right now.
And I got him at number 2. So we're not far off with that. And I got your guy, Mo, actually, Shohei Ohtani, batting .336 with 13 homers right now. I think the guy's the best player in Major League Baseball.
And I think I would be willing to say that next year where he starts pitching again.
No, but I'm saying that's the scary thing. He's probably the best hitter in baseball. You know what I mean? So if he actually pitches, it makes it not even close.
And you, Mo, what's on tap?
Playoffs, WNBA, whatchamacallit, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Playoffs, WNBA. Oh, and I also want to send a rest in peace for NBA legend, Hall of Famer.
Absolutely,
Bill Walton.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Definitely will be missed. So,
Mr. Is he congested?
What do you mean?
Bill Walton, Mr. Is he congested? That's how I used to refer to him, the way he used to talk. Yeah, man. For me, it's gonna be the playoffs, and as well as the now updates of Surviving Diddy as more and more stuff's coming out.
Mm.
You know,
And 50 just sold his series to Netflix.
yeah. So I'm just curious how that plays out and what stuff starts to unravel in the past, which was probably kept under a stone due to power and money. So.
Mm-hmm. And how many people knew about it?
Well, I mean, just to say, like Rolling Stone, and it did their investigation. It's not even the feds, but the feds are saying that they're close towards getting people to testify against him, or at least be brought in for grand jury. See if they get their indictment. Rolling Stone interviewed over 50 people close to him, and they were able to get out quite a bit of information if you just look online right now. So everything right now is alleged, but with just Rolling Stone doing their investigation, they were able to get 50 people. So who knows what, soliciting people to come and talk, and then the power of the subpoena. You know what I mean? It could be way more. I mean, just our heroes who we thought was, and I do use that loosely because I don't feel they were heroes, but just from a broader standpoint, like a young kid from Mount Vernon / Harlem, changing the world, this peace, love movement and everything like that. It just goes to show you, as your parents tell you, your parents and people you love should really be your role models. You just understand that these people are human.
Mm.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Growing up, Dallas Strawberry and Dwight Gooden were my heroes.
Great choices, P.
So I learned, and I still got love for him and all of that. No disrespect, but I learned early. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you have good parents and good family with you,
Or community role models. You know what I mean? And
definitely.
Even with that, again, because you see how we were born and we were raised, even the closest to you, and even your parents could let you down from every now and then, boy. So it just goes to show, for people that don't know these people and have them and how they feel towards them, they're human. We don't know them. Let them be them. And just go for what you know, and craft your life that way.
And Hill, I think that's such an important message for our fans, for the world, especially as we come into voting season and stuff like that. Hey, rely on the people around you to inform your decisions. Don't rely on somebody on some tube or on the radio to inform your decision on who you're going to vote for or who you're going to allow to lead you the next 4 years. Make your own informed decisions. Talk with your family, your friends, your support circle, your community, and figure out what's best. A lot of these talking heads, like Hill said, they're just human, and a lot of them aren't even qualified to talk about some of the subjects that they're talking about. So, just hey, you can take their opinions, but take it with a grain of salt.
With that being said, I'll be selfish and say I'm surrounding myself with two superhumans, and I'm happy to know you guys too, man. So,
my brothers, you already know.
Always, man. Always. I take your words over anyone. So, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, share with everyone. We need a fifth. We're out. Did another one, guys.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hurry up and get better, man. This ain't easy.
Copy that.
All right, peace.